Hey everybody, it's Cauliflower here, bringing you more videos on cryptocurrencies. If you haven't noticed already, I just changed my name to the Crypto-Anarchist. The reason why I changed it is Cauliflower Man, like it was a throwaway email account that was linked up to my Xbox Live account, which was called Cauliflower Man because when I made my Xbox Live account when I was like 16 years old or whatever, I was like, you know what, I just want to have the weirdest name I can think of. And so I went with Cauliflower Man. So having the weirdest name you can think of as for my YouTube channel doesn't really make sense. And the Crypto Anarchist, that makes a lot more sense because that's what I am. That explains, my viewpoint on basically all of these things. Just so you like my viewpoint as opposed to a lot of these cryptocurrency channels. Like I was into the crypto anarchy scene for a while before I ever invested in cryptocurrencies, and by that, like the crypto anarchist scene is just a scene where you use the power of cryptography to take back your rights from your government. So it's basically just using how to learn encryption, and I guess cryptocurrencies are involved in this a lot because of the sort of encryption that is involved with cryptocurrencies and the privacy aspects of it. But I know how to use different digital technologies in order to protect myself from a tyrannical government. Now, in America, I live in America, but in America we do have a tyrannical government, but it's not like the worst thing in the world, you know what I mean? So it's not like I'm completely living my life in fear and have to use cryptography for everything I do. I just know how to use it, and in case, the government goes nuts on their tyrannicism, I'll keep using it, and I'll use it even more. I think it's a valuable skill and tool set to have. Just so you know, crypto anarchy, it's in case you guys don't really know what it is. I'm not trying to, say you should become a crypto anarchist, but it's not to some degree it's a political philosophy, but it's not a left or right political philosophy. Sort of the standard bearer for crypto anarchy would be somebody like Julian Assange. We're very much opposed to central banking. We're very much opposed to government control, basically, of any aspect of your life. It's not a left or right issue. It's a freedom issue. That's all it is. It's using the power of freedom, or using the power of cryptography to ensure your freedom. It's also it's been closely associated with anarcho-capitalism, which also isn't really a left or right political ideology. It's only closely associated with crypto-anarchism because or not crypto-anarchism, anarcho-capitalism, because crypto-anarchists, with cryptocurrencies, like this has been a long thing in crypto-anarchism of establishing a digital currency so you can have a free market, your own free market that is aside from what the market is in your or under your government's control. So it's been closely associated with anarcho-capitalism, though they are separate sort of spheres, It's also closely associated with agorism. Now, agorism is just the idea that, your government can tell you what to do, but you are the one who decides whether or not you obey. And so agorism just says live your life as though the government doesn't exist. And so that's one thing I always try to do as a crypto anarchist. But again, I'm not trying to preach about crypto anarchy here. I'm just telling you guys I chose that name because that's what I am, and that's where my perspective comes from. And a lot of my perspectives, they're pretty old school crypto anarchist perspectives. The old school crypto anarchists do not like, when I talk about ICO-able coins, they don't really like those because they don't really understand the need for it. There's a lot of different things that crypto anarchists disagree with sort of the newcomers into the cryptocurrency space. We're big on our privacy coins for the simple fact that we know without privacy, the government can clamp down on any cryptocurrency. So that's what a lot of my investment decisions and my ideas come from my background in crypto anarchy. So I just wanted to put that out there. My new name is going to be the Crypto Anarchist. That's how I will introduce myself. Hopefully, I'm sure sometimes I will say my name is Cauliflower Man just because I'm used to it. But yeah, I'm now no longer Cauliflower Man, and I am the Crypto Anarchist. So anyways, let's go ahead and get to the point of this video. The point of this video is going to be talking about something that I see all over the place now, where people are like, oh, Bitcoin goes up, my alts go down. When has this been the case? I've never seen, I know people say it a lot of the time, but since when? Since when has this been the case that when Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go down. So I'm going to show a bunch of altcoins. A lot of them I'm talking about, but you got to know, even for a lot of altcoins that I think are not very solid, this still happens, or this still doesn't happen. So there's a lot of coins that I don't like that I would consider hype coins. That'd be, things like Arc or Neo or, Icon. A lot of the blockchain application platform coins, different things like that, that have hype behind them. Vertcoin to some extent is a hype coin in that its price rise doesn't really reflect the fundamentals of the coin. You could have made a lot of money with Vertcoin. I still think it will go up, but I consider it more like Litecoin, where yeah, you'll make pretty good money in dollar terms, but I don't think it's a coin that's going to go to the moon. But that being said, like, even for coins that are just hype coins, they've been doing decently against Bitcoin. So I'm not sure where this idea comes from. I don't know if it's day traders who are just not good at day trading. I would never recommend day trading to anyone. You really got to know what you're doing, and it's a great way to lose all your money. But let's go ahead and talk about these coins here. So the first coin that I got here is Bitcoin Cash. So if you look at this chart right here in front of you, the price of Bitcoin Cash has been doing very well in the past 3 months. You can even back it up to the beginning of when Bitcoin Cash was created. The price was around like 550. Now it's around like 650. So the long-term price on Bitcoin Cash, it's a long-term trend of going upwards. Now you might look at it and be like, yeah, it had that one big spike up there near the middle of August. And it's like, yeah, it did. So hopefully you didn't buy then. Hopefully you bought at some other point. But even if you did buy then, like, the long-term trend on this is upwards, and it probably will continue upwards. But where is this big drop off in the price of Bitcoin Cash as the price of Bitcoin rises? And now somebody might say, in terms of Bitcoin, the price hasn't risen. And it's like, well, yeah, but if you cherry pick the biggest boom, in the past 4 years in Bitcoin, or if it's probably the past 3 years, the last boom was like 2014 or something. But the biggest boom cycle in the past 3 years of Bitcoin, then yeah, if you cherry pick that, then in terms of these coins priced against Bitcoin, it's not going to look all that great, but a lot of them have still increased in price against Bitcoin. A lot of them. Okay, so we can look at Zcash here. Now, Zcash is not necessarily one of the strongest zero-knowledge cryptocurrencies, just because it doesn't offer IP address obfuscation like Zencash does. Zencash just seems to be better than Zcash in every way, and I invest in fundamentals, so I'm not invested in Zcash, I'm invested in Zencash. That being said, Zcash it's a hype coin. It had a lot of hype on its initial release. So, it's got that aspect going for it, but even like Zcash, which I don't think is the strongest in the zero knowledge ZK Snarks protocol coins, the price the price of it has it's basically been stable. I think it's slightly up still. Like it was around 200, now it's around like 230. So you're still doing well on Zcash if you bought into it in the past 3 months. So where's this big dip when the price of Bitcoin rises? I don't see it. Now there is that one big rise and dip on that like one day in September. But that happens in cryptocurrencies. It's like that. I don't see where the correlation is to like the long-term correlation to the Bitcoin price as it applies to Zcash. Like everyone says, oh, Bitcoin price goes up, Zcash, it's an alt, it should go down. So where is it? Where is this big dip in the price of Zcash? And this Bitcoin boom cycle has been a year long. So if you look at the year-long cycle, you can see that the year-long chart down at the bottom in the blue, at the very bottom. Still way up as Bitcoin's been increasing in price. So again, I don't see where this idea comes from. So let's go again to another coin. This coin is Dash. Now Dash is not the strongest of the privacy coins for the simple reason that it uses CoinJoin, but because there are so many people using Dash, like the CoinJoin gives you a very big anonymity set. That just means how hard it is to trace somebody through CoinJoin. It's very, very hard, and because it's the dominant CoinJoin coin, and the other coin that used CoinJoin that was dominant was Pivx, and they're moving away from it. I think Dash can still do very well. I'm not personally invested in it, but if you look at the price of Dash, the price of Dash was under $200 3 months ago. Now it's near $300 now. So where is this big dip in the price of Dash as the price of Bitcoin goes up? Again, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I don't see anything at all showing a dip of the price of Dash. So now let's go to Pivx. Now Pivx has been pretty volatile recently, and there was a decent dip on the price of Pivx within like the past 2 weeks. I thought at first, that was just some random dip, but I think actually now, like when Pivx rolled out the 3.04 wallet, there were a couple of issues because when they rolled out the 3.04 wallet, it was what is called a soft fork. So there were actually two chains. Now, these two soft forks, like when you sent, if you were still using the earlier wallet and you sent coins to that wallet, it wouldn't show up on that wallet because you're on the wrong blockchain. But once you upgraded to the new wallet, you would still have that wallet, and so it would show up on that blockchain. That actually happened to me. That's another reason why like having a blockchain is great, because if there's some sort of bug in your wallet, like I knew, like when I had a bug in my Pivx wallet, I only sent like 30 cents because I was sending from an exchange. I had never sent to my Pivx wallet before, so I always, I send it once as a sort of a test. A lot of times I'll send one as a test anyways, just to make sure I've got the address right. I know technically speaking, if you want to be completely private and stuff, you don't send to the same address, but I don't like that idea. I really just don't. I prefer to know for a fact it's going to go there. But anyways, I sent like 30 cents of Pivx to my wallet and it didn't show up, and I was like, what the hell is going on? So I looked at the block number, and the block number was 3,000 blocks ahead of what the official Pivx block was supposed to be at, so I knew I was on the wrong blockchain. And this, again, this goes back to why I don't like things like Arc, where it's like, hey, you have a wallet but you don't get the blockchain. So if your Arc wallet had a bug, what do you do? Like, you send coins to your Arc wallet and they don't show up, what do you do? You're like, oh, there's something wrong with my wallet, I can't use it. You could say like, oh, you can check the blockchain and see that if the funds were still sent, because in my case I checked the blockchain, my funds were sent, they just weren't showing up in my wallet, and so then I checked the block number, I was on the wrong blockchain. So I knew that. But if you have an Arc wallet and you send coins to your wallet and they don't show up, what do? You're just like, the coins aren't there, they should be there, they should be there, but they're not there. That's also why I don't like the Bitcoin Lightning idea, because it's like, if you send coins somewhere and they're not there, like, what do? When I sent coins to my Pivx wallet, I checked the blockchain, data, and I realized, immediately I am on a forked blockchain. So it's like, okay, I know what the fix is. I just gotta update and resync the blockchain to the right blockchain. So it was really simple. But that's kind of what the short-term dip in the near, or like right at the end of this chart is. But again, this is why I like the coins that have blockchains, and that's kind of a bit of a tangent. But again, if you look at the price of Pivx, even if you back it up a year, it was like 1 cent a year ago. So where is the dip in the price of Pivx that's supposed to be associated with the price of Bitcoin increasing? I don't see it. Like, I don't see it on this chart. It's not there at all. The price of Pivx has completely crushed Bitcoin the past year during this boom cycle. It's completely crushed it. It's not even fucking close. So where is this dip that I'm supposed to be seeing? Now, if we look at something like Vertcoin, Vertcoin has also crushed Bitcoin over the past year. Again, I don't like Vertcoin. I don't see what stands out with Vertcoin. It offers stealth addresses. There's a couple other coins that offer stealth addresses. Stealth addresses aren't the most private thing in the world. They're decent. So I don't see, like, Vertcoin's kind of a hype coin in that I don't see, like, the fundamentals of it. They are strong, but there are strong coins with stronger fundamentals. But even if you look at the price of Vertcoin, yeah, it experienced this short-term pullback, and somebody commented on a video, what's up with the increase in price of Vertcoin, and I said, it's kind of a hype coin, was to summarize what I said. A lot of YouTubers were talking about it, and I thought it was going to experience a short-term pullback. I mean, you should know that for any coin that goes to the moon. The same was true with Grossel. When I talked about Grossel, Grossel had just gone to the moon, so I said it's probably going to come back. But anyways, it did experience this correction, but again, if you look at the long-term history of Vertcoin, it's going up and up and up. Now, I think Vertcoin, again, is a bit of a hype coin, to the extent that I'm just, like, there's coins with better privacy. It's ASIC resistant. I don't really see what the ASIC resistance of this is, but Vertcoin, again, it's not even the most solid coin, but the price is not dipping when the price of Bitcoin increases. Like, where is that supposed to occur at? I don't see it. I don't see any sort of trend that shows that. Our next coin is Verge. Now, Verge, again, if you look at the year-long chart, it's completely crushed Bitcoin. Like, it's absolutely crushed it. But again, like, even in this 3-month period where it's been a little more volatile, the price is still going up and up and up. Now, Verge, again, it's one of the privacy-based cryptocurrencies that I really like. It does Tor and I2P obfuscation of your IP address, and that's always great because one thing about using something like Bitcoin, if you're using Bitcoin, they can figure out you're using Bitcoin just by looking at your IP address and your internet traffic. That's not like the worst thing in the world, because they still have to link up when you are using Bitcoin to a Bitcoin transaction. Now, they can do that with Bitcoin because all the transactions, like, it's all public, so that's why I like privacy-centric coins. So a lot of people, though, will say different privacy coins that do not have IP address obfuscation, they're very weak, or they're easy to track. That's not true. If they get decent adoption, any privacy coin, like, they don't need the IP address obfuscation, because yes, you will know that that person was using that cryptocurrency, but you don't know, like, where their transaction was, what it was. You don't know anything about that transaction. So IP address obfuscation is obviously very good. It's not necessary for a privacy currency, but the way Verge does it, I really love the way they do it. I haven't personally invested in Verge. There's only a couple coins I've invested in. I've told you guys all about them. It's basically Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Zcoin, Zencash, and Pivx. Those are the 5 that I'm invested in right now. Verge, I do think, is very interesting. It might be one to invest in because the price of it is still super low. I do know there's a lot more there's a lot more coins out there for Verge, so I'll have to figure that out. But anyways, where is this price dip that is supposed to be associated with Bitcoin's rise when we are looking at Verge here? I don't see it. Does anybody want to point out where it is? And again, all these coins I'm showing you, they're all solid coins. They're all solid coins. Some of them are more solid than others. Again, I think Vertcoin and Zcash are somewhat hype coins. So I'm not investing in those. But these coins that are solid do not drop in price when Bitcoin increases in price. Okay, they're not doing it. They're not doing it at all. So let's go ahead and look at Zcoin. So now Zcoin, again, if you were to back up the Zcoin chart all the way, this would look even better. But even for the short term, this 3 months, if you look at it in the short term here, it's still doing very well. Its price in terms of Bitcoin hasn't dropped very much. It really hasn't dropped very much. And its price in terms of the US dollar has gone up quite a bit. You would have made a lot of money if you invested in it. Like 3 months ago, it was below $9. Now it's around $16. You've almost doubled your money. So again, where is this price drop that is associated with Bitcoin's rise? I don't see it. The only thing that, I'm pretty sure this is only true if you're investing in shitcoins, or if you're investing according to the fear of missing out, or in hype coins. I call them hype coins. People call it FOMO coins, or FOMO investing, where you see a coin hit the roof and then you're like, oh man, I need to get in on that, and and then you invest on it. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. You can never stop yourself from feeling the fear of missing out. The emotional aspect of investing is always there. So when I looked at something like Coin, I had there's this big fear of missing out, because it was like, holy crap, if I would have just put some money in that, I could have seen 100 times returns, But again, I looked at the fundamentals of Coin, and I don't like the fundamentals of Coin. It doesn't have privacy options that I see. It doesn't, it's just an ASIC resistant coin that has a lot of hype behind it. And I always try to avoid hype coins, because usually the hype is wrong, or at least the hype only exists because they've been doing well recently. So with Bitcoin, there's a lot of hype on Bitcoin right now. So that's a time when I don't invest. When people are saying great things about it, how much money they made about it, that's when you don't invest. That's when you look for something else. That's when you look for something people aren't talking about. That's why when I was making my first videos on Zcoin, I called it a dark horse, because there really weren't that many people talking about it, and it was kind of, it wasn't necessarily doing all that well. So that's when you invest in it. I made my first videos on Zencash. The price was $6. I wish I would have invested then. I did not. It happened. So to some extent, when I did invest in Zencash, it was a little bit of fear of missing out, but it was a solid coin. Okay, it was a solid coin. So the price had tripled, but I was like, you know what? The price has tripled already. I know that it'll probably experience a short-term pullback, which it did. I bought around $18 to $20. I can't remember exactly what it was. But anyways, the price then dropped to $14, but then it rebounded again. So, as long as a coin is solid, even if you don't hit at the low point, you will still make your money back, but it's got to be a solid coin. You got to invest based on fundamentals. Final one here is Zencash again. So Zencash, you look at this chart, this is the past 3 months, it's done phenomenal. It's done phenomenal. And the price in terms of, or against Bitcoin, it's crushing Bitcoin. And if you back that chart up even more, it's still doing very well. I guess I can't remember exactly what the 1 year chart for Zencash actually looks like. It's a very new coin. I don't think it's actually been out for a year, but Zencash is doing phenomenal. Another thing you got to remember too about these newer coins like Zencash and Zcoin, and I'm not sure when Verge came out, but Zencash and Zcoin I think are under a year or two old. I'd have to look that up. But these coins have high inflation rates. So if they're increasing in price when their inflation rate is like 30%. As soon as that coin hits a halving event, you can expect the price to increase even more as long as they can sustain the amount of demand that they have. And the reason why you can expect the price to increase even more is for the simple reason that if there's less coins being produced, there will be less coins for sale. So these coins that are very young and are beating Bitcoin, they're very good investments, or they're things you should really be watching out for. But to finish this video off, I still don't. Like, I'm not even sure. I guess I don't watch coins that I think are shit coins, but what coins are here that are getting crushed while, Bitcoin is doing well? I don't really know. I really don't know at all. I'm not sure if everyone's just doing FOMO investing, or they're investing in it like they don't know what the coin is or does that they invest in. I'm not sure. There are a couple of coins that have been doing very poorly, the past 3 months. But when I look at these charts, like, a lot of it seems to be coins that are like, these blockchain-based application coins. IOTA has been doing poorly that I'm looking at right now. ARK has done pretty poorly the past 3 months. Or maybe actually, I don't remember when ARK hit its peak at like $4. Let me look at that chart real quick. Yeah, okay, ARK. Yeah, ARK has been doing decently with a 3-month chart. It's up from $1 to $2, but again, I don't think ARK is another hype coin. There's a lot of hype behind ARK. I'm not sure what ARK offers that's different than everybody else. And again, ARK, you don't get to use the blockchain. So what happens if you send coins to a wallet and it doesn't show up in your wallet? Like, what do you say? Like, you just say, oh, my coins aren't here, and you have no data to go off of. But there's a lot of these coins here that I'm looking at that have been doing poorly the past 3 months, and they all just seem to be shit coins to me. If you're investing in a coin, you don't invest based on what you hear other people talking about. You invest on the fundamentals. You got to understand this stuff. Our cryptocurrencies are very complex. A lot of the aspects of them, once you get to understand them, they're not all that complex. But you can't just invest based on fear of missing out. You can't invest based on hype, because hype is almost always wrong. You got to invest on what is actually behind the product. But anyways, I guess that's the end of this video. Again, I'm not sure where the idea has come from that when Bitcoin goes down, altcoins will go up. I've never seen that before. All the coins I've invested in early on, they continuously beat Bitcoin. This goes from my early days of investing. Obviously, I can't say that I'm going to get everything right. In my early days of investing, I only made a couple calls, but they all beat Bitcoin. So I've never witnessed this. Like, I've literally never witnessed this idea that, oh, hey, when these coins come out, or when Bitcoin goes up, my altcoin's going to go down. I don't know where that comes from. But anyways, that's the end of this video, so I hope you learned something.